Mighty Max!
Hello YouTube and welcome to a new toy review. This time we are going to take a look at the Mighty Max Palace of Poison playset. I never had this playset as a child, but this is the one I remember most distinctly from the commercials on TV. I remember at the end a kid was holding this playset in his hand and his whole hand turned into a scaly yellow texture, just like the playset itself is.
Mighty Max, c'est idéal.
And I remember as a child I was very much creeped out by that, and I was thinking, well, this is the playset that I definitely don't want to have, because the commercial made it look like it gave some kind of weird skin disease if you touched it. I know it's silly, but really this was the message that it conveyed for me, and that's why I was never really interested in getting this particular playset, which is sort of ironic because I think this is one of the most interesting ones, and let's see why. Well, first of all, just the opening of this playset is sort of unique. As you can see, it resembles a rolled up snake. You can see a very nicely sculpted head there. You can see this pattern going on along the body of the snake. You can see the Mighty Max logo here, and you can also see the little tail, the rattle of the rattlesnake that you have here. So it's very cleverly designed and nicely done. On the bottom you can see Bluebird 1992, so nothing very special going on. As I mentioned, it has one of the most unique ways to open, as in you have to first open the head of the snake like that, then you get to treat it to a nice little sticker detail of some adventurers who tried to get in but failed or something like that. It's like the opening of a tomb or a grave, and some grave diggers and their bones left there. And then you open this part and you're sort of treated to an interior of something like a tomb, rather something like a pyramid really, because there's a sarcophagus here and they look like pharaohs and stuff like that. It looks very nice. On the bottom, some dungeon scene with more skeletons and little green snake here. And what I really like is that on the top you can see this very nicely sculpted Egyptian god statue. I guess this must be Anubis, the god with the jackal head. And you get some really nice gold painting going on there. Also here on this sarcophagus you also have some nicely detailed gold paint with some blue that looks very decent and very nice. Of course, as you might have guessed, this is an opening door, and inside there you sort of see the shape of a person, and there you have your first monster, which is of course a mummy, or better yet a pharaoh, with this headpiece on and some gold detailing going on, a little bit worn and the paint chipped off at some places, but quite a nice figure. The other part of the playset is really just a big snake pit, so not much going on there, but still you're getting another nice looking monster, this black scorpion with the red tail. And if you think back, this tail also acted as the tail of the snake for the whole picture. So when I said pretty clever design, is that I meant that as you close it down, the tail of the scorpion becomes the tail of the snake, and I really like this feature. So menacing looking black scorpion for the snake pit, if the snake pit is not bad enough for you. And of course you get a Max figure with it. As usual, these figures get mixed up in my playsets, so I'm not really sure if this is the one that belongs to the snake playset, but it's a nice Max figure. Again, a closer look of the snake detailing going on. Down there you get some skeletons too, and you get a nicely detailed gold painted something like a sphinx statue sitting there on this I guess it's also a sarcophagus or a tomb, and that you can just swing open and you can see a little skull in there too. Pretty nice. You see some stairs leading up all the way in the neck of the snake to his head, which you can of course open up to reveal some really nice treasure detailed inside. Again, you get golden paint for all the treasure, and you get a menacing cobra to look over that. So you can put your playset in this position, and you might have noticed this black kind of vine thingy that looked like it was growing here, but it actually has a hook, and you can put that hook through this little hole in the mouth of the snake, and you can form this rope thingy, which you can use for Max to climb over the snake pit with the scorpion in it to reach the treasure. So that's what this is intended for, really. I think it's clever design. It's not something you see in all of these play sets. While before closing the set, you definitely have to take care of not breaking this rope thing that you have with it. This is something that is quite sensitive, I guess, in a way that it's just this thin plastic. You have this little cut here that you can actually put it in, and that will keep it in place. Also, you have a little hole here where you can put the hook in. So you really want to have it in this position, secured in this cut, and put it in the hook. Otherwise you run the risk of breaking it as you close the set down. So this is something you should definitely take good care of if you don't want to damage your play set, because that's something you can easily break. And you will find that the playset closes completely if you do it right, and then you can put the head down. I think this playset is very unique in not just the way it opens, but also the way it is displayed. I like the Egyptian theme going on here. It's definitely sort of like an homage for the Indiana Jones movies, I guess. At least it makes me think of those because of the snakes and how much Indy hated them. You get cool looking monsters in the form of a mummy and a huge scorpion. I think this scorpion is definitely bigger than your average monsters that you are getting in the Mighty Max toy line. So I think that makes this set also a bit unique. And all things considered, this is a very cool and fun playset to have. So definitely don't pass it up if you can get it. Well, thank you for watching this review, and stay tuned for more. Take care and goodbye.